My name is Martha today. I want to tell you the story of a boy named Oliver Twist. It is a story from a long time ago, but the feelings inside it are still the same today. It is about a small boy who wanted love, care, and a home. His name was Oliver. Oliver was born in a poor house for orphans. His mother came to that place. One cold night, she was weak and tired, soon after giving birth to her baby boy. She closed her eyes and never opened them again. The people in the house said, "Poor woman, she had no one." That night the baby cried loudly. It was the first sound of his small life. He was alone from the beginning. The people who worked in that house gave the baby a name. They called him Oliver Twist. He was just one of many children in that place. The house was not warm or happy. The children were hungry most of the time. They had little food and old clothes. The people who took care of them did not show kindness. They shouted often and punished the children for small mistakes. When Oliver grew older, he was sent to another place called the workhouse. The workhouse was even worse. There, the children had to work long hours every day. They cleaned floors, carried water, and helped with dirty jobs. They got only a little bowl of thin soup for dinner. Every child was always hungry. One evening, when the hunger was too strong, one boy whispered to the others, "We should ask for more food." The children looked at each other with big eyes. Nobody ever asked for more, but Oliver was the smallest, and they pushed him forward. "Go on, Oliver," they said. "Ask for more." Oliver's hands were shaking, but he walked to the man who served the soup. He held his bowl and said in a quiet voice, "Please, sir, I want some more." The man looked at him with wide, angry eyes. "What?" he shouted. "More," he called the master of the workhouse. Everyone came running. They could not believe a child was brave enough to ask for more food. The master shouted, "Take that boy away. He is bad and ungrateful. He must be punished." Poor Oliver cried. He was locked in a dark room that night. The next morning, they decided to send him away. They said no one wanted a child who asked for more food. Soon, a man came to take Oliver. His name was Mr. Sowerberry. He worked as a coffin maker. He made wooden boxes for people who died. Oliver now had to live and work with him. Mr. Sowerberry was not a kind man. His wife was even worse. She often shouted at Oliver and called him names. She said, "You are just a workhouse boy. You are not worth much." Oliver tried to be good. He worked hard and did what they asked. But one day, another boy at the shop made fun of Oliver's dead mother. Oliver's heart filled with pain and anger. He could not stay quiet. He hit the boy and shouted, "Don't talk about my mother." The fight was loud and Mrs. Sowerberry ran in. She was furious. "How dare you?" she screamed. "You will leave this house at once." That night, Oliver cried alone. He had no mother, no father, and now no home. Again, he decided to run away. Early in the morning, while everyone was asleep, he took a small piece of bread and walked out of the town. He did not know where to go. He just wanted to find a better life. Oliver walked for many miles. His shoes were old and his feet hurt. The road was long and empty. Sometimes he slept under trees. Sometimes kind strangers gave him water or bread, but most of the time he was hungry and tired. Still, he did not stop. He wanted to reach the big city. He had heard about London. He believed that maybe someone kind would help him there. After 7 long days, Oliver finally reached London. The city was huge and full of noise. There were people everywhere, horses, carts, and smoke in the air. Oliver felt very small and scared. He sat on a street corner and held his small bag close. He had no idea where to go. While he was sitting there, a boy walked up to him. The boy looked older, maybe 12 or 13. He had a dirty face but a friendly smile. "Hello there," he said. "Are you new in town?" Oliver looked up and said softly, "Yes, I just came from the country." The boy nodded. "You must be tired and hungry. Come with me, I can help you." Oliver followed the boy through the busy streets. The boy talked fast. My name's Jack Dawkins, he said, but everyone calls me the Artful Dodger. Oliver smiled a little. He thought the name sounded funny. Soon they came to a dark old house. The Dodger knocked on the door and a man opened it. He had small, sharp eyes and a long nose. His smile looked strange. "Ah," said the man, "another new one, Dodger." The man's name was Fagin. Inside the room, there were several other boys all around Oliver's age. They sat near the fire laughing and cleaning handkerchiefs and watches. Fagin said, "Welcome, my dear. You'll be happy here. We take care of each other." He gave Oliver some food. It was the first warm meal Oliver had in many days. He was thankful and thought he had finally found kind people. The next morning, Oliver watched the other boys. They were playing a strange game. They took small things from each other's pockets and laughed. Oliver did not understand. He thought it was just for fun. Later that day, Dodger said, "Come with us, Oliver. We'll show you the city." Oliver was happy to go. They walked down the streets until they reached a busy market. People were shopping and talking loudly. Dodger and another boy walked close to a man reading a book. Oliver saw Dodger's hands move quickly into the man's pocket. Then he pulled out a wallet. Oliver gasped. He realized the truth. They were stealing. Oliver was shocked and frightened. He did not know what to do. Suddenly, the man felt his pocket and turned around. "Thief," he shouted. "Stop him." Dodger and his friend ran away fast, but Oliver was too slow. The people thought he was the thief. They grabbed him by his arm and shouted at him. Oliver tried to speak. "Please, sir, I didn't do it." But no one listened. The crowd took him to the police station. He was shaking and crying. The man whose wallet was stolen came, too. His name was Mr. Brownlow. He was an old gentleman with kind eyes. He looked at Oliver carefully and said, "He looks very young. I'm not sure he did it," but the policeman said, "We caught him running. He must be guilty." Poor Oliver stood there with tears on his face. He had no one to speak for him. He looked so pale and weak that Mr. Brownlow felt sorry for him. He looked sick. The old man said softly, "Let's take him home and help him." The police officer agreed. Mr. Brownlow took Oliver to his house. It was warm and clean. A kind woman named Mrs. Bedwin helped him wash and eat. For the first time in his life, Oliver slept in a soft bed. He felt safe. He could not believe it was real. When he woke up, sunlight filled the room. He looked around and whispered, "Maybe I have found a real home." But Oliver's peace would not last long. Far away, Fagin and the other boys were talking about him. Fagin was angry. "That boy knows too much about us," he said. "We must bring him back." And that is where Oliver's new trouble began. Before I continue the story, please like, subscribe, share, and tell me where you are listening from. Your support means a lot to me. Now, let's continue. The next morning, Oliver felt warm and peaceful in Mr. Brownlow's house. The room smelled of clean sheets and breakfast. Mrs. Bedwin came in with a smile. "Good morning, dear," she said kindly. "You must eat something." Oliver smiled shyly and thanked her. He had never seen such kindness before. He thought to himself, maybe this is what a home feels like. Mr. Brownlow came into the room. He looked at Oliver and said softly, "You look better today, my boy. You were very sick when we found you." Oliver whispered, "Thank you, sir. You are very kind to me." Mr. Brownlow smiled. "You remind me of someone I once knew," he said quietly, almost to himself. For a few days, Oliver rested and got stronger. He helped Mrs. Bedwin with small things around the house. He listened when she told stories about Mr. Brownlow's past. Sometimes Mr. Brownlow looked at a picture of a beautiful young woman on the wall inside. Oliver noticed it but didn't ask. He was just thankful to be in a place where no one shouted at him or called him names. One morning, Mr. Brownlow asked Oliver to do a small task. "Oliver," he said kindly, "will you take these books back to the shop for me? It is not far, and the man there will give you the money." Oliver nodded happily. He wanted to help. He put the books in a basket and went out. The air was fresh and he felt proud to do something good. But on the way to the shop, something unexpected happened. From behind a corner, a man suddenly grabbed his arm. Well, well, look who it is. The voice was rough and cold. It was one of Fagin's men, Bill Sykes. His eyes were dark and full of anger. You thought you could run away from us, didn't you? He said. Oliver tried to pull away. Please let me go, he cried. But Bill's hand was too strong. Another person appeared. It was Nancy, a young woman who worked with Fagin and Bill. She looked at Oliver with worry. Bill, don't hurt him, she said softly. He's just a child. But Bill didn't listen. He pulled Oliver into a dark alley and pushed him into a carriage. The door closed, and the horses began to move. Oliver shouted for help, but no one heard him. When they reached Fagin's old house, Oliver was dragged inside. Fagin smiled his strange smile. My dear boy, he said slowly. You left us too soon. We missed you. Oliver looked down, afraid. Please, sir, I didn't steal anything. I just want to be good. Fagin laughed. Good? Oh no, my dear, you belong here. Days passed and Oliver felt trapped. Fagin gave him little food and kept him in the dark house. The other boys laughed and teased him. Only Nancy showed him small kindness. She brought him bread and whispered, Don't lose hope, Oliver. You're not like them. Her voice was sad, as if she wished for a better life, too. One night, Bill Sykes came back with a plan. We have a job to do, he said. We'll take the boy with us. Fagin looked surprised. Oliver, he's too small. Bill shook his head. He can crawl through small windows. He'll help us get inside. Oliver felt fear in his heart. He didn't understand what they were planning, but he knew it was wrong. That night under a dark sky, Bill and another man took Oliver to a quiet street. They stopped near a big house with tall windows. Bill whispered, Now, boy, go inside. Through that window and open the door for us. Oliver's heart pounded. Please, sir, he begged. Don't make me do this. Bill lifted his hand angrily. Do it or you'll regret it. Tears filled Oliver's eyes as he climbed through the small window. Inside the house, everything was dark. His hands were shaking. He took one step forward and tripped over a chair. A loud sound echoed through the house. Suddenly, a light came on upstairs. A man's voice shouted. Who's there? Bill cursed loudly. Run, he shouted. Before Oliver could move, a loud noise filled the air. A gunshot. Oliver felt a sharp pain in his arm. He fell to the floor. Everything turned black. When Oliver opened his eyes, he was lying in a soft bed again. A kind face was looking down at him. It was a gentle lady named Mrs. May. She said softly, You are safe now, my dear. Don't be afraid. Oliver tried to speak, but his voice was weak. She continued, You were hurt, but we took care of you. You're safe here. Oliver looked around. The room was bright and full of flowers. A young girl sat by the window. She smiled warmly. Hello, she said. I'm Rose. You must rest now. Oliver felt tears in his eyes. Thank you, he whispered. You are so kind. For many days, Mrs. May and Rose took care of him. They gave him food, medicine, and gentle words. They never asked who he was or where he came from. They just helped him heal. Oliver could not believe that such people existed. Every night he prayed quietly. Thank you, God, for these kind hearts. When Oliver was stronger, he told them his story. He spoke about the workhouse, Mr. Brownlow, Fagin, and the thieves. Mrs. May and Rose listened with sad eyes. Rose touched his hand and said softly, You have suffered so much, but you are safe now, and you will never go back to that life. As the days passed, Oliver began to smile again. He helped Rose water the flowers and read books aloud. The house was filled with peace. One evening, as the sun went down, Oliver said, I feel happy here. It feels like home. Rose smiled. You deserve happiness, Oliver. But outside their small world, danger was still waiting. Fagin and Bill Sykes were angry that Oliver had escaped again. Fagin shouted, "If the boy talks, we are all in trouble." He looked at Nancy. "You must find out where he is." NY's face turned pale. "I can't," she whispered. "He's a child, let him live." Fagin's eyes grew dark. "Do as I say or you'll be sorry." That night, Nancy walked through the streets thinking about Oliver. She remembered his kind eyes and soft voice. Something inside her heart changed. She no longer wanted to live among thieves. She wanted to do something good for. Once, she decided to help Oliver, even if it meant danger for her. The next evening, she secretly met a man named Mr. Brownlow. She told him everything, where Fagin lived, what they planned, and how Oliver was safe with Mrs. May. Mr. Brownlow listened carefully. "You are a brave woman," he said. "We will save the boy and maybe we can help." "You too," Nancy smiled sadly. "I don't want anything for myself. Just keep the boy safe." Her eyes filled with tears. She knew what would happen if Fagin and Bill found out what she had done. A few days later, Fagin heard that someone had told the police about their gang. He became suspicious. "Who betrayed us?" he shouted, when he learned that Nancy had met with strangers. His face turned red with anger. He told Bill Sykes. Bill was furious. That night, Nancy was waiting for him at home. She said softly, "Bill, I did it to save the boy. He's innocent." But Bill did not listen. His rage was stronger than his love. What happened that night would chain everything. While Oliver rested peacefully at Mrs. Melly's house, he had no idea that the woman who tried to protect him was now in great danger. The morning was quiet and calm in the Mee house. Oliver sat near the window watching the sunrise. He felt peaceful. He was happy to live with kind people at last, but far away in the dark streets of London, a terrible thing had happened. Nancy, the woman who tried to protect him, had been hurt by Bill Sykes. When people in the city found her, it was too late. Her last words were about Oliver. "Please," she whispered. "Save the boy." Her story reached Mr. Brownlow, and he felt great sadness. He remembered her courage. Mr. Brownlow worked with the police to catch Fagin and Bill. They searched the city. It took many days. Bill tried to hide, but the police were close behind him. When he heard them coming, he climbed onto a roof to escape. He ran, but then slipped and fell. His life ended the same way he lived, full of anger and fear. Fagin was caught soon after. When they took him to prison, he looked old and weak. The police said he would be punished for all his crimes. For many years, he had used children for stealing, but now his time was over. When the police told Oliver and Mr. Brownlow that the thieves were gone, Oliver was quiet. He did not feel happy or angry. He just felt tired. So many people had hurt him, but also many had shown kindness. He thought about Nancy, Rose, Mrs. May, and Mr. Brownlow. "There are still good people in the world," he said softly to himself. A few days later, Mr. Brownlow visited Mrs. Melly's house. When he saw Oliver, his eyes filled with tears. He said, "My dear boy, I have found something very important. It is about who you really are." Oliver looked at him with surprise. "About me, sir?" Mr. Brownlow nodded. "Yes, you are not just an orphan from the workhouse. You have a family name. Your mother was a good and gentle woman. Her name was Agnes Fleming." Oliver listened carefully. His heart beat fast. "Agnes Fleming," he repeated softly. Mr. Brownlow continued. "Before you were born, your mother was in great trouble. She came to the workhouse alone and poor, but she came from a respectable family. I found her sister. Her name is Rose May." Oliver turned his head to look at Rose, who sat beside him. She smiled, tears shining in her eyes. "Yes, Oliver," she said softly. "I am your mother's sister. That means you are my nephew." For a moment, Oliver could not speak. His eyes filled with tears. "I have a family," he whispered. "After all this time, I have someone who loves me." Rose hugged him tightly. "You always had love waiting for you," she said. "You just had to find it." Mr. Brownlow smiled. Your mother was brave and kind, Oliver. She wanted to protect you. She had a gold locket with your name on it, but it was lost. Now everything is found, your truth, your name. And your family. Oliver could not stop crying. They were not tears of sadness anymore. They were tears of peace. After so much pain, he finally knew who he was. Life began to change after that. Oliver stayed with Rose and Mrs. May. Mr. Brownlow became like a grandfather to him. He taught Oliver how to read better, how to write letters, and how to tell stories. Oliver loved learning. Every morning, he helped in the garden and fed the birds. Every evening, he sat by the fire and listened to stories from Mr. Brownlow. Sometimes he thought about the old days, the workhouse, the cold nights, and the hunger. He remembered the children who still lived there and hoped that one day someone would help them too. No child should feel hungry and alone. He said once to Mr. Brownlow. The old man nodded. That is true, Oliver. You know what loneliness feels like, so you will always show kindness. Rose often told him, your heart is pure, Oliver. Your mother would be proud of you. Those words gave Oliver strength. He promised himself that he would never forget the people who had helped him. Years passed. Oliver grew taller and stronger. He loved reading books and helping others. He often visited the poor children in the town, bringing them food and clothes. He told them stories and made them smile. Everyone who met him said, he is a good boy with a good heart. One day when Oliver and Mr. Brownlow were sitting in the garden, the old man said, do you remember the first day I met you? Oliver smiled. Yes, sir. You took me from the police station when no one believed me. Mr. Brownlow laughed softly. You looked so small and scared, but I saw something in your eyes, something honest. Oliver looked down and said quietly, you gave me a chance when nobody else did. I will never forget that. Mr. Brownlow patted his shoulder. You deserved it, my boy. Everyone deserves kindness once in their life. In the evening, Rose played music on the piano and Mrs. May sang softly. Oliver listened and felt thankful. The house was full of light, laughter, and love. It was the kind of life he had always dreamed of. Sometimes at night, he looked at the stars and thought of his mother. I hope you can see me, Mama, he whispered. I am happy now. I have a family and people who love me. He felt a warm peace in his heart as if his mother's spirit was smiling down from the sky. The story of Oliver Twist is a story of pain and hope, of sadness and love. It shows that even in the darkest places, there can be kindness. It teaches us that one good heart can change a life. Oliver never forgot the people who helped him. He lived with Mr. Brownlow and Rose for many years. He grew up to be gentle and wise. He never became rich, but he became happy, and that was enough. In the end, Oliver Twist was not just the boy from the workhouse. He was the boy who wanted love, and he found it. He found it in the hearts of kind people who cared when no one else did. And that, my dear listener, is the story of Oliver Twist, the boy who began life with nothing but ended with everything that truly matters: love, home, and